Hi, and unbelievably, we are into our second half of November for 2020. Today we're looking at Jeremiah 29 and verse 13. It says, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." This sounds like a great verse, doesn't it? Some inspiration, yet in its context it is actually an unwelcome verse, and at the same time it's deeply profound. Let's look at the beginning of the chapter. Jeremiah 29 verse 1. It says, "This is the text of the letter that the prophet Jeremiah sent from Jerusalem to the surviving elders among the exiles and to the priests, the prophets, and all the other people Nebuchadnezzar had carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon." So a letter from Jerusalem to those people who had been carried off to live as exiles in Babylon. They were prisoners of war. They were taken by force from their homeland. Was this letter going to be good news for them? God says, "You're coming home." Actually, it said the exact opposite. Verses 4 to 8. "This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says to all those I carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build houses, settle down, plant gardens, eat what they produce. Marry and have sons and daughters. Find wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage, so that they too may have sons and daughters. Increase in number there, do not decrease. Also seek the peace and prosperity of the city in which you have been carried into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you will prosper. Yes, this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. Do not let the prophets and diviners among you deceive you. Do not listen to the dreams you encourage them to have." This was a disappointing message. No, they were going to not go home. They were staying there for the rest of their lives. And so their prayers and hopes had not been answered. Instead, there was the hope that God would allow them to prosper even in the midst of this experience of exile, this experience that they didn't want. Verse 11 is that inspiring verse that gives us hope as we look into an unknown future. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." God did not forget his people, even though they were captives in Babylon. He planned to give them a new beginning with a new purpose, to turn them into a new people. In times of dire circumstances, it may appear as though God has forgotten you. But God may be preparing you, as he did the people of Judah, for a new beginning. According to God's wise plan, his people would have a future and a hope. Consequently, they could call upon him with confidence. Although the exiles were in a difficult place and a difficult time, they need not despair because they had God's presence, the privilege of prayer, and God's grace. And if we seek him wholeheartedly, he will be found. Neither a strange land, sorrow, persecution, nor physical problems can break our fellowship with God. So when we come to that instructive verse 13, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." No matter how desperate our circumstances, no matter how unwelcome and unwanted they are, God can be found in the midst of our difficulty, and this is our hope. In potentially heartbreaking circumstances, God is saying, your job is to seek me. Seek me, and you may find me. There you will find encouragement. There you will find the hope of an eternal future. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. That's our job. No matter what the future, no matter how uncertain, no matter how difficult. Seek, and we will find the Lord in our circumstances. Bye for now.